one is the wrong one because I spelled exhibit wrong, but that's okay. I don't know if I can zoom in here. So, the brief that I'm doing is for the St. Louis Science Center, and basically the summary for this interactive program is called The Journey to the Center of Lunch. It's an interactive activity that is intended to teach young kids about the digestive system in a whimsical, fun way. So I completely changed my idea from last time because I didn't feel like it was immersive enough.
Uh-huh.
So the problem statement, and just I guess in a nutshell, basically it's going to be like a video game where kids can design their own avatar. Like they get their picture taken, and then it makes a 3D version of an avatar that they use in the game. They pick different foods to travel through their body with, and kind of learn the effects of what kinds of food is healthy and not healthy for you. Um, like how enzymes work and break down food. It's very visual based, so it's good for kids who aren't necessarily they're first grade level reading, but they don't have to read too much. It's mostly visual based. And they basically I'm just gonna scroll down to the visual example.
Good.
But there would be a screen in front of them that's touch screen. These are floor directional pads, so basically they step onto these colorful pads to move the ship, which is the food, up, down, left, or right. And then this area here is where they would stand when they're getting their picture taken. So they would stand here first, get their picture taken. It would turn into like a 3D little person. Then they get to select their food, and then the journey begins. And basically, they move around as they want to control the ship through the body. And then they have different tasks where they have to collect things like, well, I haven't gone too much into detail in the specifics, but I did find an example of this online where someone actually made a game where you travel through the body.
Uh-huh.
And as far as the graphics, I'm thinking of, nothing too realistic because that would be gross. But it's more cartoonish for them to travel through. And this is just a front view of it. So the camera would be at the top. I'm still deciding if I want them to touch the screen. So if they're trying to like break down harmful objects or obstacles in their way, they can just touch the screen and like it gets it out of their way so they can keep moving forward. And their points are decided by how quickly they get through the system, how many obstacles they hit, and what kind of foods they chose at the beginning, like how healthy was it for them, and they kind of learn about that food. And at the end, they can get bonus points by answering questions from what they learned in the game.
Okay.
So that's what I have.
I think what might help, there's a lot going on with what you're proposing here. What might help is to make like a step-by-step diagram, just something very like step one, kid approaches exhibit.
Right.
Step two, they see a screen where they get to all these foods are going by and they get to grab it by touching the screen or something like that.
Okay, I have that kind of, but yeah, putting it as a list.
Yeah, and so we kind of see, it's like a user scenario.
Okay.
So you explain, so we get a real quick overview. And also, you're getting into a lot of extra details that I don't know if they're really going to help meet your educational goal. Because you want, I assume you want the kid to walk away from here having made some good choices, good healthy choices, and that's what you want to learn by that. So when they, let's say they choose cake, it's just like they can't get to where they need to go because the food's getting stuck in the body. You know what I mean? Really hard to move it. It's really, yeah. So I think I would just really dial in on exactly what you want the kid to walk away with. And this whole, go ahead. You go ahead.
They will be able to have a character. Okay, they will learn the effects of healthy and unhealthy foods on the body, which encourages healthier dietary choices. Knowing just what your snacks actually do to your body can help kids pick better lunches and even mention to their parents their desire to eat healthier. So I guess that's like the objective of what they're going to get.
Yes. So your objective is very clear. Just make sure that all of the details of the interactivity supports that objective.
So should I have more detail on like what kinds of food do that, or just kind of how they would encounter it?
Well, I just can't totally visualize it. Like, for example, there's a lot of extraneous stuff. Do you really need to have a 3D avatar? I don't know exactly how that's tied in. And do you really need, if you're going to be controlling things on the screen, do you really need to have the foot pads?
Right. I was thinking maybe just keep the foot pads and not have them have to hit things on the screen. I just didn't know if that wasn't interactive enough.
I think either one is interactive. I just think you want to simplify it, keep coming back to the goal. You have these foods. How are you going to select the food?
Yeah, so that'll be through the screen. So it would be better just to keep it all screen.
Maybe you would. Yeah, or maybe there's a special. The problem with foot pads, having done this before, is that people are kind of in a resting position, just looking at the screen, trying to figure out what to do, and they're activating those pads. So you have these pads that you're like, okay, even though their weight may be on them, maybe there's like 3 kids on them.
Right.
It might be easier to do if.
I was also thinking like controls, like a little table. I mean, just with joysticks or something in front.
You could do that. I think what is cool, what you're onto, is having this physical connection.
Yeah.
Where they're actually feeling how much work it is to digest the crappy food.
Right. Yeah.
And that's I think whatever device is going to help make that happen the most. Maybe they have to, what if it's a sensor and they just have to jump up and down to get it to move down the pipeline?
Oh, yeah, that would work.
They don't even really need directional arrows. It's going to go down the digestive tract.
Right.
The amount of effort that it takes.
Right, is what they put out. Yeah, I like that a lot.
So maybe you don't have the arrows and it's just a sensor that detects how much you're moving. And that really relates to actually how our food is digested, right? I mean, the more exercise that we get, the more active we are, the
more calories you burn.
Yeah. So that actually really connects to what exactly is actually happening.
Right. No, I agree. I'm just going to put it as a note.
Yeah. I think I'd like to see in your next step, obviously, you're kind of dialing it in exactly how it's going to work. That might help you to like do your user scenario, nothing fancy. Yeah. If you want to do it in a series of boxes, step 1, step 2, step 3, be thinking about what happens when a lot of kids are in there.
Right.
Maybe they can all watch, but you have to be in one specific spot to be tracked for your movements to make the digestive game work.
So when I designed the kind of, I guess it would have to depend on how the room was set up. But I wanted it to be kind of like in a corner. So still if you walk by, you can see it and it'll catch your eye. But I don't feel like a lot of people will crowd over, at least on this side.
Right.
It would be harder for people to get in the way. So it'd be mostly people passing by over here, but I don't think they would interfere with at least the sensor, you know.
Right.
So it kind of keeps it in a corner, but it's still like you can see it when you're passing by.
Right. Adana, I think this is a really great idea, and I think it could be very simple and elegant and actually very buildable. And now I think your focus should be on, once you nail down your user scenario and exactly what interactive controls they're going to be, then I would start your screen mock-ups.
Yes.
So you kind of show us what it's going to look like.
Right. So I guess I have a question for that. Since I am anticipating it to be like 3D-ish, is it okay to use stock images or like, I don't know, an illustration that I find online for these mock-ups?
Yeah. But you know, your challenge as a designer is to make it look visually cohesive.
Right.
So if it's if you're getting elements from different places, to make it all feel like it belongs together and making it your own.
Okay. Yeah. So mostly I would be focusing on the control. Kind of like I don't actually have artwork for the game, so I guess it would be more so focusing on how the interface of the controls.
No, you want to create the game artwork. We want to see what the user is going to see.
Okay. Yeah, so
you
that's
might
what I
need to
was.
do some stock artwork, you know.
Yeah, that's what they for the inside of the body. But yeah, I think I got it. So
I think you could probably find something online, recreate it in Illustrator, kind of, but make it feel branded and like make it feel like you're looking at the game interface.
Right, right.
Unlike a website, they're not going to be menus, they're not going to be, but there might be some
like a starting screen.
What'd you say?
Oh, like a starting screen, like maybe when they select the food and then them actually playing the game.
Yeah, and we would expect probably we would want to see maybe when you're getting the food and what the food looks like when it's traveling through the body. Maybe a screen that gives some basic directions, something like that. That's what I would mock up.
Okay, that works for me. Well, yeah, thank you for that suggestion with the sensor. That
no problem.
Works a lot more.
James, do you have new stuff?
No, I just was here for moral support.
Oh, thanks, James.
You're welcome.
Hey, how did the student showcase work out?
I gotta tell you, I don't know what other schools are doing, but I think that is an extremely invaluable thing to have for students. Like I appreciate being in it, but I'm kind of navigating these waters on my own. But for seeing it for other students, that is just amazing. There will be jobs come from that. There is no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was, I sat in on the prep classes, kind of helped with resumes, helped with just general meeting people, introductions, elevator speeches.
Mm-hmm.
And students looked great. They were dressed nicely. Their resumes looked great. It was set up very professional. And the executives that came were top notch. And to see the relationship between the faculty and those executives shows that, you guys, the faculty yourselves, are not just teachers that forget about the real world. Like they were engaging. They took notes on us to give us feedback. I have never seen something like that.
Well, that's good to hear. That's great. Kind of a crappy week for me to be out of town, but it is what it is.
It was absolutely. I got a lot of business cards out of it. I got asked multiple times if I would relocate.
Oh wow!
I was like, nope. That's a flat no on that one.
Wow, that's great.
It was cool.
That's great. Well, Adama's project looks really cool. I'm recording everything right now. If you want to go back and look at it, I'll just post it on the site. I did actually get through almost grading all of Project 1 yesterday. So I will update grades and stuff probably later today.
Where are you at again? I never even heard.
Oh, I'm at home right now.
Oh, where were you this week?
I was in Vermont. It was my kids' spring break, and we went skiing. We have some rental property up there. We got to check out every once in a while, and so it's hard for me. Like I can't pull them out of school when I'm on spring break, really. So I just kind of like made it work, sort of, for their week.
Gotcha. Do you guys go out there and make maple syrup in January?
Well, actually, right now is the big maple syrup time. It's kind of cool. We actually went to a sugar house, and all of the trees are piped up, so that they're running all of the sap off. And I think they told us like 40 gallons of sap is what it takes to make 1 gallon of syrup.
That's right. We've been doing it for 50 years in my family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I thought only the maple stuff was up in Vermont and Canada.
Nope. We got 50 maple trees on our place.
How much syrup do you make?
It depends on the year, and the last few years have been absolutely horrible. Our season is in January and February here in Missouri. So that's there. So we only ended up with, like 10, 12 gallons this year.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think we're saying that it's like the weather where it's like freezing at night, but warmer during the day. It gets above freezing during the day, and that's like when the sap starts really flowing.
You want a good thaw every day.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where I was.
Cool.
Well, I guess I will talk to you all later. James, I got to talk to you about that workshop thing, but I'll send you an email about it.
Okay.
All right. Well, if you don't need me, I will see you. Adama, you cleared for registration?
I don't think so. I waited for my check to clear, like for my account. I don't think that's till tomorrow anyway, so there's not much I can do.
Well, that's okay. If you want to hang on a second, we can talk about your degree on it and I'll get you cleared.
Yes, I actually have my classes selected, so
cool.
That works.
James, you're welcome to hang on to this riveting conversation.
Well, I just need to know my next step since mine aren't on an actual, I can't actually register for them. Do I just in a few sentences, I don't need much of your time.
Yeah. Well, you know what we need to do? For the independent learning experience, which is information architecture, we need to fill out some paperwork that basically we say we're going to do. We're going to do an independent study, but I'm just going to attach the syllabus to it.
Okay.
And we just need to get that from Sharon. It's not a big deal.
I also talked to Mindy, and it seems like the senior overview would be the best way to go about it.
Really?
Yeah, because yeah. I mean, I can talk to you more in depth, maybe like next week or something. But I literally am gonna have a full-time job. So after this, it's not gonna be an internship, and to make them jump through hoops for that doesn't make much sense when I'm going to have a career.
Yeah.
I mean,
right. Well, I don't think I have a section set up for senior overview for the summer, but I can ask Sharon to set it up, and then you just go ahead and register.
Okay.
So, James,
I really have projects already, that cover all these elements, and I'll probably have even more once I start working.
Yeah, well, there's also a department project that Elza has been asking me if there might be a student who would want to do it.
I'm meeting with her Tuesday. She already caught me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So,
and can that count?
Of course.
Okay.
I think that the trickiest part of that project is just setting up a system for how work is going to get submitted and working with Jim Singer, who's going to be, like if you submit this type of project, it needs to be in this format. I don't know. I can talk to you more about it, but if you're interested, she would be so excited about that. She probably went bananas when you said you might be interested.
Bananas is a good word.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so James, let me, I'll go in and clear you for summer registration and send Sharon an email to set up a section for senior overview for the summer.
And architecture, information architecture.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yes. Yes. So what else? Can you give me your ID real quick?
414.
5335. 5335. Okay, I'll do that right now. I'll clear you for summer. And then I'll ask Sharon to make a senior overview section. When it's there, you can go register yourself. And then in person, I got to get you this ILE paperwork that explains that you want to do an independent learning experience. So I'll communicate with Sharon about that as well. And there's just some basic information on it. And I will also send you the information architecture syllabus. And when you'll just attach that, and we'll just say this is basically an independent learning experience where you're going to meet these objectives.
Sounds great.
Okay.
All right. I'm out of here then. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Tuesday. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
All right, Miss Adama. Let me get you cleared.
All right. Did you want me to show my screen of what I have, or I can just tell you?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm here.
What's your ID?
413-4040.
Oh wait, let me make sure I clear you before I forget. Before I do anything.
Yeah. Hopefully it's cleared. I don't know.
I don't know the financial stuff, but
yeah.
But I have you, from an academic point of view, you can register for fall and for summer.
Oh, okay.
I did my part, but if we go to register you,
if I go to my holds, I'll see if I have a hold, basically.
Okay.
I think they said it'll be lifted on the 1st, so I'll be fine for registration thing because it's on like the 3rd for juniors.
I think so. Okay, so you're cleared for registration. Let's go look at your degree audit. I don't usually see the holes unless I'm
actually. Oh, okay, it's gone anyway.
Okay, good. Good. Okay. So you're thinking about taking, is this what you're thinking about taking up?
Yeah. Okay. So this is I think this is media literacy.
Okay. And that would count for your theory elective?
Yes.
Are you taking it with Julie Smith?
I have no clue. Oh. That would be good to know, like the things.
You do what works for your schedule. She also teaches Intro to Mass Comm, and she's an awesome teacher.
Oh, yeah, I think you told me that. I just haven't had a chance to fit in anything.
Yeah.
Specifically, but what was that? That's ethics. I don't know what it's called.
I think it's under
media communication. Yeah. Oh. Media literacy, Julia Smith. Oh no, I'm under someone else.
Okay.
Mostly because it's fall 1, so I'm trying to cram things in.
Yeah. Okay. Co-op. Definitely.
This is I think it's not web scripting. Intro to XML or something. That's for the certificate. Web development certificate.
Okay. In terms of your major, you're picking the right classes.
Okay.
Did you take INT? Oh, you did do with Scott Grandeman. Okay.
Yes. Good. Yeah. I have to take the visual design class because remember it was canceled this semester.
Yes. Right.
So
right.
Hopefully it doesn't get canceled again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Skill electives, you've got plenty.
So I'm a little on the fence with my design minor, mostly because I have to like repeat design. Like I have to find a substitute for design visualization, I think, or concepts.
Right. You can do.
So what I'm doing is kind of just because it doesn't fit with the schedule, and I'm more interested in getting the coding out of the way. I feel like I would rather push that more towards springtime or something.
Right.
And just get these going. Because then I think I'll only have maybe 2 more computer application classes left. So.
Okay. I mean, you can always ditch the minor, but you're actually in really good shape because you only have 50 credit hours done, but you've knocked out most of your major, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just looking at your GCP stuff now, and you can always drop the minor and you can always drop, but I think that you're going to have a very, very, very strong portfolio when you're done with all this.
Hopefully. As far as the GCPs, I do have a science class that I need to transfer over that I took at community college.
Okay.
I think all I have left is a math class and a roots of systems or something.
Yeah, roots of culture and quantitative literacy.
Yeah,
and
is what I have to do.
You might look, I don't know what all is coded for quantitative literacy, but you might find something more in the computer realm that might be of interest to you to fulfill that requirement.
I think I saw something like, the only thing I really saw was like coding or like, it was like math for computers. I don't remember what it was. It seemed like it was something related to computer science. So I wasn't sure what that was. I don't know if it would be here in the other thing. It was like, I guess they don't have it here. But I remember seeing something about it.
Do you know how to search for the? I looked. You're done with all your skills, so all you have to do is that the science, the math, your keystone, and 1 roots of culture.
Right. Yeah. I was like, Keystone is senior year.
You can do your Keystone whenever at this point now. I mean, you're basically almost done with your GCP course of study. And, you know, I would use that as a class like that fits into your major later on. If you were going, are you studying abroad maybe?
Well, I'm thinking about spring. I was doing fall, but I'm like doing leadership things. I thought that would be kind of weird if I left immediately.
Yeah.
So,
well,
springtime, hopefully.
Yeah, I would save those classes for when you're studying abroad.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because that would probably be the most likely to be there.
Yeah,
while I'm studying abroad.
Right. Do you know how to search for the GCP classes?
Yeah, I just have to go.
If you go to academics and then you go to course schedules, and there's a global citizenship search.
You're not still streaming, are you?
Oh shoot! Yes.
Just